Hi, everyone. My name is Andrew Baker. I've been a visual effects artist for 7 years now, and I'm just now exploring this idea of recording myself, talking about what I do. And this is my third time recording the video for being in the media business for about 10 years now. OBS threw me for a little bit of a loop, but I think I got the settings figured out now. Okay, so I wanted to talk about my turtle render. So I'm talking about this animation I made in Blender. And here's some stills that are not from the animation. They're just me moving the camera around the scene and trying to capture some interesting images. So without further ado, let's dive in. So obviously the first thing we need is our turtle mesh, and ignore this too lazy to fix it. We have our little nice turtley here. What I did was I UV unwrapped it and exported it to my iPad, and I used my Apple Pencil to color in the diffuse texture. And you can also create different textures for the spec, roughness, and all that good stuff, although I kind of skipped some of them. But I just wanted to point it out because I really liked the feel of painting texture on my iPad. It felt really good. I don't think this is like the best texture ever, but like there's something about it I like, and you can kind of like see the brush strokes, so it kind of has like a painterly quality to it. I like it. I think I'm going to continue to texture in Procreate or on my iPad, at least a decent amount. So for rigging, I just created from scratch. This is just like a custom armature. Nothing's really that special about it. But I animated it using the Rococo video system, which is kind of an interesting way to do motion capture from video. And well, I don't think I really needed it because Rococo video creates a keyframe on every frame, and you have to clean it up a bit. It can be a little bit jittery, especially for this, which is a slow moving turtle. It was pretty unnecessary. I probably spent more time cleaning it up than it would have been to just put in a few keyframes, because the turtle doesn't really need to move very much. But it was still kind of fun to play with the Rococo video system because I had never used it before. Similar story with fish. I used let's see, what is it called? Excuse me, I had a good old Blender crash there. Good old Blender. Love the smell of unsaved project files in the morning. Okay, so anyways, as I was saying, similar with the fish, I created a armature, Rigify Meta Rigs, Animals, Shark. And I just paired that rig to a fish to get the wiggling, swimming. I tried to line up the fins kind of in the bones. The pain point of this render was this beard, which didn't exactly turn out exactly how I wanted it. I wouldn't say I'm entirely proud of it, but I had to cache this like 4 or 5 times maybe. I don't know. It took a really long time every time, and it was so hard to rein this in for some reason. The cloth, I used a cloth simulation. It was bouncing everywhere. I don't know. Maybe I probably should have just used geometry nodes or something, like I did with the hair, which we have here. Now, this was kind of the original idea behind the entire piece. Here you can see I did a test for kind of tuning in a sea anemone look, and I was really happy with how this came out. So I wanted to make it into a creature shot. That was kind of what I was thinking. I was like, I want this sea anemone to slowly rise up into frame and reveal that it's like the hair of a creature. And so I went with a sea turtle, and the rest is history. So what I did to create this was I used geometry nodes, which was a fun foray into geometry nodes for me because I have not used them very much. I was able to use a lot of the setup that I created for another project for a friend working on a stop motion short. And so he needed a certain look to his grass. And so I was able to kind of use that to create a sea anemone. What's cool about geometry nodes is you can use this geometry proximity, which is kind of like, and you can see here, I attached it to the fish, which is cool because it kind of turns it into a collision effector, and it affects all the geometry, all these strands. And so they all wiggle out of the way when the fish swims through. And that was the technical aspect that I was quite proud of in this animation. You get the fish interacting with the sea anemone hair, and it swims through it, and it looks quite nice, I thought. So the last thing I wanted to talk about is the water, which might be a little bit hard to see here, but we'll try. If I hide some of these things. Oh, I like this plugin. It's called Dust Particles Pro. So they come with these presets. You can use moth or flare, stroke, circle, and it just creates it's basically a particle system, but it's pretty easy to control, and it doesn't blow up your scene. So yeah, I use that, and I'm kind of a fan. Okay, so the last thing I wanted to talk about was the water. You can't really see it that well. Once we start getting into volumes, my machine starts getting real sluggish. So I tried the best I could for you guys here. And you can see on the ground plane shadow catcher, at least, you can definitely see those fake caustics. And you can kind of see the notion of sort of the God rays going through the water. That's being filtered out right now by the denoise, most likely, but it's there. And I followed ACG Geek tutorial. I think it is his latest video. Hyper realistic water is this easy in 3D graphics. And yeah, it was a pretty good tutorial. It accomplished the look I was going for. It's basically done by creating this volume cube. You can use light paths to make the edges seem less janky, I guess. And you want to create a light, an area light, shining directly down through the volume onto a shadow catcher, and animate some wave textures. And you shape them and all that good stuff, but that's essentially the method. If you are more interested in that, I would recommend going and checking out his video, CG Geek. It was worth a watch, I thought, and I'm not going to go into any more detail on that. That was my overview of how I created this rendered animation in Blender. If you would like me to go over anything further or cover something different, or even if you just like this video, be sure to leave that down in the comments for me so I know and I'm aware and can address that going forward. Thanks so much for watching.